Hey everybody, I'm Chris.
I'm Steven.
We like board games.
And beer.
We decided to pair them. We think you should too. Welcome to Table Hops. So we just got back from our trip to Charlottesville.
Yeah, Charlottesville, Virginia. That was fun.
It was super fun. We recorded all this on the road, but the audio turned out like poo-poo, so we decided to re-record it.
Episode 2.
Episode 2.
The redo.
The redo. This is where we recap all our life choices and try and figure out how we got here.
Yeah. That might take us a while.
But it was a super great trip.
Yeah, it was super fun. It was, 4 days of gaming and beerness? And,
right.
We went to a couple of breweries and played a bunch of games. I think
a lot of games.
We did drink a fair amount of beer, but the thing we drank more of was Mountain Dew
Baja Blast. Oh, good God.
The sugary.
It's the ooze from Ninja Turtles, is what it is.
Yeah, I felt like I was seeing through time.
It's made by TGRI.
And we stayed up till 5 o'clock most nights. Well, most of us did.
I tried. Once you get to my age, when we were playing Overwatch, I tried to stay awake. I ended up passing out with controller in hand, and I was jostled awake by some explosions. And I looked up, and my character was just walking into walls.
But you still got to play the game.
Was that the Torb one?
That was the Torb one.
Oh, my turret!
Chris got a play of the game just by walking. Mm-hmm. And his turret.
Yeah, I molten cord after I respawned. I knew my turret was in the middle of everybody. Good times.
Fun times.
Yeah. What did we bring on the trip? Let's start with beer-wise and then go to board games. I
brought a sour Bring Out Your Dead spaghetti squash or summer squash.
Summer squash. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's weird that there's squash in a beer, but pumpkin beers are like the same thing, so it's not that weird.
Yeah. You couldn't really taste the squash, honestly.
I tried one sip of that, and I felt like I was turning inside out.
Because it was an actual sour.
It was beyond sour.
And it's not your...
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Super good. I enjoyed it. But this trip did make me realize that you don't like sours as much as you like tart beers. And
That's true.
There's a very distinct difference there.
True. But in the broad spectrum of what people normally classify beer as.
Sure. Yeah.
But
in the hipster, like...
Oh, yeah. If we're going to push up our glasses, then
yeah.
It's a different story. It's like IPAs.
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I also brought All I See Is Carrion, which we are drinking right now.
Right now. Yep, absolutely.
And then you brought a bunch of stuff.
Yes, and I remember the name of it now. It was Soft Crash. I called it the Smooth Splash on the old recording.
Soft Crash.
It's called the Soft Crash. Yeah, that's what it's called. It's a mosaic triple dry hopped IPA with German yeast.
Yeah.
And it was like on the verge of being hazy without being hazy.
Yep, and I think we had that when we got up there.
I had the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it was very good. I enjoyed it. Yeah. That's Benchtop. That's a local brewery in Norfolk. But yeah, it was a good little IPA.
Yeah. And then we, what did we play that night? We played Champions.
We played Champions with both expansions at the same time, which is the first time I've done that.
Yep. Ori hit 183.
Which was ridiculous. Oh my gosh.
High score points.
The expansions were an actual expansion to the game. Expands your options and how you can play the game, as opposed to just adding more of the same.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like I do feel like the two expansions for that game, they're both strong separately, but they work the best together.
Well, do they come together?
No,
they're separate. You buy them both separately.
Yeah, they're two separate.
Why would you not play with both? If you don't own it, I guess.
Well, I could see an argument for like if I'm only playing like 2 or 3 players, I might not play with the Hill Giants one.
Okay.
There are certain cards that flex between both, but they're clearly marked so you can take them out when you need to. Mm-hmm. But I don't feel like, in a 4-player game, definitely both, right? Because it just provides you more options, and no one feels like they're screwed over.
But do you think if there's 3 or less that it's too many options, it leaves it too open? You want to?
I don't feel like there's that like Like, there's always something to do if there's every board open.
So to narrow it down, it'd be better to take that expansion out.
Yeah,
I can agree
so.
with that.
Yeah.
Sure. So Friday, after we got back Friday, we got up pretty early. You made us all breakfast. And we
Pretty
started
early is relative.
pretty early after staying up till 3. Anything before noon is pretty early to me.
Okay. Yep. So we had breakfast, and
Is that when we played Everdell? Let's talk about Everdell. I
Yeah.
really like that game. I like the huge tree in the middle of it. I like all the little resource tokens.
it is a worker placement resource management strategy game. I do like. I backed this game on Kickstarter. It's the first Kickstarter I've gotten where it was early. It's actually 2 months early. It wasn't supposed to be like out in the masses for another 2 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they delivered it early. It was a surprise to everybody. Everyone was getting shipping notifications, and all of a sudden they were like, "Oh yeah, we shipped it 2 months early."
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really happy with everything. All the pieces are great. The mechanics are really cool. The first time I played it, I was concerned that it was too short because we really went through everything really quickly.
Well, when I played against you and Ori, I think my brother Orion also felt like he had to get into the next season really quickly. Yeah. Whereas I was like 3 or 4 turns back.
Well, I also think that there was a huge difference in, like you said, Ori was burning through the game.
Sure.
He was placing dudes, getting resources, and not buying anything.
He was trying to get to the end.
He was trying to get to the end the quickest, which could be a strategy, but I really think that strategy, which in his head, right, like having not played the game before, kind of makes sense.
Sure.
But
I think it's instinctual.
Yeah.
Finish first.
Yeah.
Win the race.
I think you lose some of the, the bonuses from like your leaf cards that get you your recurring bonuses.
Yeah,
you know
huge.
what I mean?
It's huge. I really liked it, although I felt like the best way to play it is to play it slow and long.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
a Barry White album.
I agree. I felt like the theme is great in it. The whole like the tree.
It's huge. It's
the art
cool.
is great.
The complexity of like a 14 and up game, but with the setup, look, and everything of like a younger kid's game.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a cool blast from the past because like I haven't played a game with that much cool aesthetics in a while.
Yeah. So we played Everdell.
Yep.
And then we played. What else do we play? Oh, we played the Game of Thrones game.
Yes, we finally did.
We finally figured out that game.
So just a little bit of backstory on the Game of Thrones game. I got it last year for my birthday? 2 years ago for my birthday. Jeez. So the first time we played it, I messed up a rule hardcore and forced my brother to cheat, and he won, obviously. And then we tried to play it a second time, and I messed up a second roll. Oh, it was the neutral party. And I messed up that rule, so we ended up taking over an entire continent that was supposed to be off limits to us anyway, so we totally lost it. Now, to be fair, this game, after we read the rules in order and spent the time learning it, it's not as complicated as it seems.
It's actually pretty simple.
Pretty simple. It does have a 40-minute how to play video, and I think that's a little daunting.
There's a lot of minutia rules.
Sure. I think it's one of those games where, like, as soon as you get it, oh, you're good to go. But I think it's easier to do than to teach.
Yes, I
like
agree.
baseball.
Have you ever played baseball?
I've seen it. I've seen the balls and the bases.
After that weekend, I found there's another game exactly like it, set in feudal Japan. Like,
What's it called?
Can't remember. It's the exact same thing.
Game of Thrones. I was a little surprised that Ori won with the military victory. I kind of feel like that happens less than a timeout.
I think it probably depends on player count.
True.
And you mean military combat just by taking over
seven citadel or 7
castles. Strongholds.
Yeah. So the object is to get either 7 castle stronghold combinations. Having 7 of those, you win automatically as soon as it happens.
Yeah.
Or once 10 turns have happened, whoever has the most points wins.
Yeah.
You know what was a lot more interesting than I kind of at first thought was the combat. I really like the combat in that game. I like the house cards, and I like how you're... Apparently, also, house cards are open knowledge. You can look at someone's hand.
Yeah. Before combat.
Before combat. Sure. You have to remember what they have.
It's just like during bidding, everyone knows how much money everyone has or power
before it happens.
Yeah.
Sure.
But once you enter that phase,
like no other game has the intrigue as the Game of Thrones game. Like, I'm sure there's some that have similar, but I mean that was like there's a lot of that both in combat and in bidding on the 3 different player order tokens.
Yeah.
I mean that's giant.
But yeah, I think the key with that game is just reading the instructions line by line.
I think that's our new just my new rule in life, right? Because I'm always blamed for messing up rules, which I do. Because I rely on
We all
memorizing.
do.
Yeah.
We all do.
We all do.
I think it's just because we're excited and we want to
Just get playing.
Yeah. And then when we find out we screwed up a rule, it just ruins the experience.
It does.
You know?
Because it really, at that point, you're like, well, everything's fucked.
Yeah.
But I really like that game now that we've got it done. Now, what I'd like to do is before another year goes by, I'd like to play that game again and sort of keep it fresh in my mind.
Yeah. I think we should.
I think Angela would like it a lot.
Angela would love that game. It does seem very daunting at first, and it's not.
It's not a pick up and go game.
It's not a pick up and go. It's also
it's a pick up, drop it for 2 years, pick it up again.
Yeah, I do like how there's very little downtime.
Mm-hmm.
Like you kind of just go.
I like the secret tokens that you place down. I've played other games similar to that.
You mean the action tokens?
Yeah, like you choose an action for each character you have, and you put it, or each army you have, and you put it down face down. Mm-hmm. And once you put it there, it's pretty much committed, unless you fuck up like I did.
Yeah.
And then you turn them all up, and then there it is.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing about that game is just the sea battle stuff is still
a little wonky.
It's a little wonky.
The ports are what messed me up.
Oh, really? I think the ports are much easier now.
Well, now everything is easier. But at first,
I still sea battles still get me, right? Because sea movement and sea battling work differently.
Sure.
Like I can move from location to location via sea, but I can't battle via location to location via sea.
You could attack a land location with a sea army.
Right, but I have to have a sea army there.
Well, yeah.
But I can't have my dudes in the middle of the sea.
No.
Right.
No, you could not. Right.
Yeah, and that's where it then I have to build a bunch of boats.
Build a bunch of boats.
Yeah, that sounds whack.
Dude, the biggest thing was the boats as support. That seems to be their best thing.
Well, yeah, I mean that's why you have the ports,
it's
right?
Huge.
Because then if you have a port, there's going to be a sea attached to it, and if you have a boat in the sea and the port, that's 2 different supports.
Yep. And that's where I was like, I understood the ports, but I didn't understand how versatile they could be. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I understood what they did. I was like, why is that a thing? Now that I understand that, it's super cool. I like the 3 different event decks.
Yep.
And the wildling thing is.
It's just a great game.
It's good all around.
Yeah. It's another.
I'd like to play it more.
Yeah, it's another 7 game for me. Just because I feel that while I personally like it, I'd be concerned about it is very competitive.
Well, yeah, it's a Game of Thrones game.
Well, certainly, yeah, but it's it's definitely not for somebody who doesn't enjoy.
It's not for everybody
because it can be cutthroat too.
I think it kind of sure, but I feel if you're going to play a Game of Thrones game, if you have any idea what Game of Thrones is, it's going to be cutthroat.
Well, sure,
yeah. I would also, now that I understand it, I want to vote it higher, but because of its learning curve, a 7.5 is probably what I give it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think the game is fantastic. I think it's a really hard game to jump into.
Yeah,
it's
yeah. Again,
it's not an elegant game.
Agreed.
Yeah,
agreed. I do think that the first time you play this game, you need to set aside 3 hours to play it.
Yeah, and you need to have a practice run.
Yeah,
get everything wrong and then try again 2 years later.
So what did we play next?
So after the Game of Thrones, I think we got up and actually went out.
Yeah, we went to Pro Re Nata.
We went to Pro Re Nata at that time, and I was super impressed.
Yeah.
Steven was talking about how... Well, tell us the story about when you went out there with Angela.
Yeah, so... God, it must have been about a year and a half ago now. Right? Yeah, a year and a half ago. And my wife and I were up in Charlottesville to pick apples at Carter Mountain, which has become a yearly thing for us. And we were checking out a bunch of breweries in the area and just kind of seeing what the area was about the first time up there. And we were driving towards Blue Mountain. We just left Star Hill. And on our drive down there, we passed this big building, and it said Farm Brewery on it. It had a bunch of dogs outside, and that, of course, got my wife's attention. And she was like, well, let's go there. And I was like, sure, why not? Got nothing else to do. So we turned around this neighborhood, and turned out to be our favorite Charlottesville brewery.
Yeah.
Pro Re Nata, I think, has some great beer. They have a good variety of beer.
Sure.
At that time, they hadn't built the fallout shelter in the back,
Which is amazing. Big fan of that.
And it's not steampunky, but it's like
It's kind of industrial looking.
it's like industrial country. It's like if somebody had like a barn and they wanted to make it into a man cave.
Yep, that's a good call. Yeah, absolutely.
They have a bunch of all their packaging's great. It's very simple.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that about it.
So their bombers all have like a prescription style label to them because Pro Re Nata, which we found out, means I forgot the direct translation, but it means like take as needed, like use when symptoms occur.
Yeah,
basically. Drink this when you need to drink this. That's
Yeah.
what it means, and it's going to be featured in one of our upcoming videos.
Yeah, super excited about that.
Me too.
So we were there and we played Grizzled.
Yes, and lost twice.
Yeah,
That game is brutal.
it is brutal. I love that game though. That game is super hard, and I think that's why I like it so much. Because
It's very challenging.
it is very challenging. The second game we played, I got the mute.
Yeah. so in this game, you can get hard knocks, or what they're called, right? And they there's a detriment that your character gets, or like some sort of disadvantage that you're not allowed to do something. And Steven, who owns the game and was explaining the game to us, received the mute hard knock, which he's not allowed to speak for 30 minutes or something ridiculous.
No, while I have the card.
While he has the card, and it ended up being about 30 minutes. Like, there was a good chunk of change where we're like, are we allowed to do this? And you just be like, shrug. Oh.
I would point to the rule book.
Yep, and I'd be like, I don't want to read that.
So we lost both those. I have beaten that game before. It was actually with Angela at another brewery. Where we played it like 4 times in a row until we finally beat it.
Okay.
It just comes down to this point where you start to learn like signs that like I know that you have this type of thing. Because one of the ways that you fail missions is by having 3 of one type of card out. Mm-hmm. So you just get to know like I know that you have a whistle card, or I know that you have a night card. Right, and then you can kind of
game play. That's easier in a 2-player game than
it's much easier in a 2-player game, and it's just because that you're not balancing that relationship with multiple people.
Sure, and I think the other difficulty is when you have the speeches, right? You're gonna name out something that you think someone else has.
Yep.
And it's not really worth it unless you're going to get all the other players. If you just
I think getting one
is okay.
Yeah,
I guess it's better than nothing.
Getting one is totally fine, especially because when you think about it, right? Mm-hmm. Like it means that you're not playing a card down, so it's leaving the loop open for somebody else.
True. You're not adding something to the scary pile.
Exactly.
I think with more players, the hard knocks will be more difficult because if you have 4 out in the game, you're just dead.
Yeah, you're dead.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think the game only goes up to 4 players. So
that sounds right.
Yeah.
Any more than that, I'd be more confused than I was already.
There is an expansion to that game. I don't think I'll ever get it. Just because, A, I don't play that game enough, and B, from what I've heard, it doesn't add anything. Like it's just like more of the same.
That's the thing about expansions, right?
Maybe we should talk about that on an episode. It's like
expansions.
Yeah. But I would give Grizzled like a 6.5. It's a fun bar game. I don't think I've ever played it at home. Yeah, I've never played it at home.
I can see that. My bar games are usually different than yours, but I can see it as being a bar game. My bar games are like, who's this drunk guy next to me that I've never met? Want to play a game? Grizzled, right? But yeah, a bar game amongst friends, totally fair.
Yeah,
totally good.
What would you give it?
I think a 6.5 is fair.
Yeah,
I give it a 6.5 as well.
Yeah. So we played that. We played Tiny Epic Defenders, which
Always
is
a good one.
Which is one of our like new favorite games.
It is, and you know what's funny is now that we talk about it, the first time I played it, and I think it's on our video, I didn't rate it. I rated it like a 7. I think you rated it a 9.
Yep.
I would rate it higher now that I've played it more because I didn't realize how extremely different each side of each location was.
Oh yeah, that's huge.
And not only is each side different, but the combinations that you get with the different. How many is that? 6 locations besides the center?
There's 6 different locations besides the center.
So those combinations is just ginormous.
Yeah, and not only that, but then the different monster combinations you have.
Yeah.
And then we found out we were playing the game wrong. And
how were we playing the game wrong?
So you shuffle up that random deck on top of the foe.
That's right.
So you don't know if you're getting
before we were playing the Dyers are at the end.
Right.
Now the Dyers can start early.
Anytime. Yeah. And that's huge. But we have beaten it twice. Since I've loved everything Gamely Games has come out with so far.
Yeah, it's fun.
Heroes of Lancey and Air is like on my wish list. That's the one I was telling you where the box is so big it won't fit in.
Oh, right. That's this. They have all these tiny games and then one fucking ginormous game. That's hilarious.
So yeah, that's on my wish list, and I'm on the fence about getting it.
Okay.
Just because it is so big, and
will they have it at Gen Con? Will you be able to try it out?
Here's Land, Air, and Sea is an older game.
It's an older game.
Yeah, so they just came out. They have another Kickstarter now that is for. Or actually, the Kickstarter ended and it's now in Backer Kit. But it's
what's Backer Kit?
It's just another pledge manager.
Okay.
We'll have a whole conversation.
It's like the dark web of Kickstarter.
Yeah, exactly. But they released a new expansion for it, which adds Merfolk and some other folk.
Airfolk. Landfolk.
It might be Airfolk.
Airfolk.
It is Airfolk actually, because you add a cloud onto
good.
So the board is like 4 different continents.
Oh, cool.
And then the Airfolk add a air continent onto it.
So when you purchased Tiny Epic Western during our trip, I kind of figured that they'd all be the same, but the gameplay is completely different.
They're all immensely different. Yeah. The only thing you can say about it is that they're tiny and epic.
They are epic.
Yeah.
The bartender at Pro Re Nata was like super interested in what we were doing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He was a big gamer apparently, and he wanted us to tag him, so we'll probably do that on this episode. And then there was a few other board gamers there too. There was a couple.
Yeah, they were playing
Carcassonne, yeah, and they also had Duke.
Yeah,
I don't know what Duke is.
It's a victory point collecting game.
Okay,
it's like a hand management type thing.
Okay, I see.
Super fun.
Yeah. It reminded me and Orion about Majesty. Is that the Pretty Princess game? Monarch.
Yeah, Monarch is super fun.
I like the game a lot. I collected all the dresses.
All the dresses. I'm actually playing a big board version of Monarch at Gen Con.
What does that mean? What's a just bigger version?
Everything's bigger.
Physical.
Yeah, you actually have to put on the dress.
I have 8 dresses and they're all on me right now.
If you actually have to collect the Pomeranian, you have to chase it around the convention center.
That's fantastic. We left there and went to the Farm Fresh and ended up with a bunch of taquitos, pizza, bagel bites, and a whole case of Mountain Dew Baja Blast.
Chris, would you like to describe what other Mountain Dews you have in life?
So I did not know that there was this whole rainbow of Mountain Dew. So they're like, oh, should we get the Code Red? Should we get the Purple Lightning? No, that's not what it's called.
Pitch black.
It's purple. It's not black. It's purple. Anyway, I'm like, I've had the green one. Have you guys had the green one? Apparently that's
and
just...
he was very serious about
apparently that's just normal Mountain Dew.
It's just regular old Mountain Dew.
Okay. We went to Crozet Pizza, right? Mm-hmm. That was good pizza. Well, it was okay pizza.
Oh, I had the tart peach culch.
Right. That was pretty good.
Was super good. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, it tasted like a peach gummy ring.
That's right. Yeah, I remember you going on about that. That was good. I had the Hop Gun.
Hop Gun's so good.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And then we came back and played Metal Gear Risk.
That's right. For the first time.
First round.
So, Metal Gear Risk, all the rules of regular Risk are there except for the main objectives objective of the game is to collect objective tokens.
Yep.
There are 8 on the board that everyone knows about, and they have objectives such as like control Asia, take over a certain number of cities, and if you collect 3 of those, you win the game, regardless of world domination or not.
And when you collect an objective, you also get a bonus.
Right. And the little bonus token might be something like an extra maneuver at the beginning or end of your turn, or it might allow you to put an airfield down, which gives you bonuses in whatever territory you decide to put that down in. And there's also bosses that you can hire, and they add 8-sided dice to your armies, and they also give you special abilities that are different for each boss.
Yeah, I think that Metal Gear Risk is one of my favorite Risk. I think Game of Thrones is still number 1 for me, just because there's that added level of interaction.
Sure. I like the Game of Thrones one a lot, and I think the reason I like it is because you have recurring abilities that you can tap into on your characters that are always in view. I like little player boards that count things for you. That makes life easier for me.
Yep.
The main complaint I've had from serious Risk players, such as Orion and Todd, are the gold objectives make the game a little... So in Metal Gear Risk, the objectives are public to everyone. In Game of Thrones Risk, however, the objectives are private in your hand.
That's what I like.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
However, the gold one, for the amount of victory points you get, is actually kind of easy. Like, one of them is like, collect 1,000 gold, get 4 victory points. That's kind of easy.
Yeah.
So that's a little unbalanced, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
But, yeah.
So other than that, it's just regular Risk, right?
Yeah.
Other than the objectives, it's regular Risk.
And I think the more people you have, especially if everyone gets an objective, the more it's going to end up just being regular Risk.
And I think that's why I don't like it. Because there are very few games that I can sit and play for 4 and 5 hours at a time.
Oh, okay.
Risk is not one of them.
Risk is not one of them.
And that's just because, unlike most 4 to 5 hour games, Risk has so much downtime.
A lot of downtime. And
Right.
not only is it downtime, it's like getting my ass kicked time. That
Well,
I can't respond to.
And if you play with anything more than 4 people, it could be 20 minutes before your next turn comes around.
Yeah, I hate that. That's very true. I think that might be why it's not one of my favorite games.
Yeah. And that's why I like Game of Thrones Risk, is because, like, first of all, your objectives are hidden, right? So no one's going to know actively that I'm, like, going after 18 territories.
Sure.
So Metal Gear Risk for me is a 6.5.
I can give that. Have you played the Walking Dead Risk?
I have not. No.
Okay. That Risk is the most un-Risk game I've played out of all the Risk variants.
Okay.
Yeah. It's more of a, not tower defense, but kind of a survival game, right?
Oh.
So it's very different. First of all, the map is very small. Okay, so you have that. Second, there is always, no matter how many people... Well, no, you can play with a 6-player variant where the 6-player takes the role of the zombies. But normally the zombies is just the game.
Okay.
And every turn, more and more zombies come, and you're trying to just survive by kicking them out of your area. But you can also screw other people over by invading their area. So it's a balance between defending and attacking out.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's more of a defense game than anything else. I don't even know if I call it a Risk game, honestly. The only thing that's Risk is the way combat works. You roll 3 dice versus 2. Ties are counted that way. That's the only thing that's the same.
It doesn't sound much like Risk.
It's not risky.
So then Saturday, you and I played Azul.
That's right. Because we woke up on time.
Yeah, we woke up and played Azul.
Yeah, Azul was pretty cool.
That was your first time playing Azul.
Yes, it was.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that game. It's a good abstract game.
Yes.
It's not themey, but I don't think it needs to be.
Yeah, this was just matching tiles, making sequences, and putting colors together. And it was fun. I liked it.
I thought it was a great breakfast game.
It's a good breakfast game.
I do think it's a great filler game. Like,
I would like to see how it plays with multiple people, because I've only played it 1v1.
Oh, you mean like, yeah, totally.
Like, how would that affect... I know when you have more people, you add more of those little circles with more tiles on them. So the board gets bigger the more people you have. People. I know on the back of the cards, there's a completely different variant of the game where there's no, like, patterns you're supposed to follow. You're just supposed to, like, make stuff up.
Really?
Yeah, it's all gray on the back.
So then we went to Three Notched.
Yes, we did.
The new Three Notch, which I hadn't been to.
I'd never been to Three Notch. I've had their beers before at a local bottle shops, but I have not been to their brewery.
So I'd been to the tiny Three Notch, but not this new fancy Three Notch that had a big restaurant inside everything.
Yeah, you were telling me how small it was, and then we showed up, and I'm like, whoa!
Yeah, it was huge.
It was big.
Super good. I had the
Riptide, not Riptide.
Whirlpool. The Whirlpool.
Yeah, the what dishwasher.
Yeah. That was super good. And I also had the watermelon goza. The watermelon goza was a little too sweet for me. A little too Jolly Ranchery. But
I think we have opposite ends of the sour spectrum.
Oh, without doubt.
Yeah.
I want my sour to be a sour. I don't want it to be a candy.
I want to have a candy.
The only one that I like that is that tart peach Kolsch, because it had enough tartness, but it also tasted like a peach gummy ring. It was like the perfect balance.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Tell us about the Whirlpool.
The Whirlpool was great. I thought it... God, what was the name of that hop? It was a melon flunt hop or something?
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was a weird hop. I never heard of it
before.
But apparently the melon flavor did not come from any melon added to it. It was all that weird hop. Melony aftertaste.
And it wasn't like a strong melon.
And that's the thing about double IPAs. I feel a lot of people throw that around, but it's just the recipe. It's just the amount of ingredients they add to it that makes it its IBUs was like 0. That was the one that was a 0.
Was that 1-0?
I think so.
I mean, I tasted it.
Yeah, it
was not hoppy at all.
Not at all. And I'm like, how is it a double?
Super good though. And then you had a flight and a bunch of other stuff.
Yes,
right?
I did. I had a lot of them there. My favorite one was the Big Slice. There was the other double IPA, the hazier one.
Okay,
that one was really good. I like that one a lot. I had I had a stout by them, and that was also delicious. It was a chocolately variant on something they normally have there.
Was it the s'mores one?
Yes.
The biggie.
Yeah, I'd have to look at my Untapped to remember what it was called, but it was like a s'mores with double dark chocolate, and it was amazing. It was everything I like about a stout that you don't like about stouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so good. I loved it. But yeah, their stuff was very good, and their food was very good. I had a great experience the whole time I was there. That's definitely a place I would go back and be like, let's go there.
Yeah, super good.
Yeah.
Super good. But then we left there and went to
Hardywood's Pilot House, which was kind of a letdown, honestly. I really like Hardywood's beer, and they had all the staples there, which I wasn't really expecting. In my mind, a Pilot House is like, this is where you try new things.
Agreed.
And see how it goes. It's like the testing house. Kinda. But it was really just a satellite-y kind of not dive bar. It was a downtown bar.
They'd have a tiny brew setup.
Although I did have their pineapple upside down cake. I thought it was delicious. I really liked it. It was very sweet candy soury.
And you had it with cherry syrup.
Yep, added cherry syrup.
Yeah.
Because the original one was too tart for me. Like, put a little cherry syrup in my beer.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
We left there and went back to Pro Re Nata.
That's what it was. Pro Re Nata was definitely my favorite brewery of the Charlottesville area trip.
And you had one beer that you were like really into.
At which place?
At Pro Re Nata.
Oh, the Beans Deep. Their coffee stout. Their coffee stout. I had it on Nitro there twice. I drank 32 ounces of coffee stout there. It was delicious. Especially the nitro. Most nitros, unless they're a specific type. I'm not a big nitro fan, but the nitro coffee stout was really good because it kind of added that little like creamy frappuccino-y taste to the top.
It also didn't taste like a stout.
It tastes like cold pressed coffee.
Tastes like coffee.
Yeah, it was good, but good coffee. Like it was good. Yeah. The only coffee I had that was better than that was that Snowing in Space. God, I just want to swim in that. That stuff was so good.
We got these cans of they're nitrogen, right?
They're nitro cans of cold pressed, really dense black coffee.
Yeah.
They're made by a local shop. I think the shop is called Snowing in Space.
Okay.
But they have the address on it's in Charlottesville, but it's coffee that's a normal cup of black coffee is 95 milligrams of caffeine.
I think so. I think we looked that up.
And then I'm just saying numbers right now, so just don't believe me. A can of Baja Blast is like 55 milligrams of caffeine and 10 milligrams of crack. And then a Snowing in Space is 305 milligrams of caffeine. It is a lot of caffeine.
But it's so good.
It's so good.
So we got 4 cans of that for the road.
I drank all of them.
We got back to the house and played Metal Gear again.
Mm-hmm.
And
Ori went last and still won. God damn it. That's why I drank.
Orion went first the first time he won. And then round 2, he went last and won again.
Yeah. There's nothing, no doubt about that.
Great job, Orion.
You did it. Fucking Risk.
So then we played Overwatch till 5 o'clock in the morning, and Chris was playing in this bungee chair.
Is that the bungee chair day?
That's the bungee chair.
3 days. I felt like there was one day where I just got too tired. There's one day where I literally passed out while playing, and there's another day where I was in the bouncy chair and I went completely crazy.
Yeah, that was Saturday night. You went completely crazy in the bungee chair.
Lost it.
You caught yourself up in the bungee chair somehow.
Oh, I sat on the backrest.
Yeah.
I put my butt in the backrest and got sucked into it.
Yeah, that was bad. That was Bad News Bears.
Yeah, it was. It was like Mousetrap.
And then you started getting delirious.
Yep.
I couldn't tell if you were just drunk or tired.
Or having a stroke.
Yep, or all 3.
All 3.
And then that leads into our big fun day. Ooh. Sunday
Fun Day. Okay, that was the day where I woke up, made a cup of coffee for myself, put it on the table, and sat down and relaxed, reached over, and in my hand, for some reason, was a Baja Blast can. Somehow it transported.
And wanted you to drink it.
It was so bad.
But what did we do Sunday, Chris?
Sunday, we left Orion and went north to Adroit Brewing.
Oh, my God.
That was amazing.
Adroit was everything I wanted it to be.
I kind of wanted to enter Diablo's lair. Like, I wanted it to be a little more, what's the word? Imposing? Right? I wanted it to be bigger. I wanted it to be bigger. I knew it was going to be small because when I was talking to my local bottle shop guy, he's like, I heard they just got air conditioning. I'm like, neat.
Yeah, so Adroit was definitely small. They only had like 4 tables or something like that.
Very tiny little brewery. But they're opening up a new tasting room.
They are front. And next week.
Yeah.
Actually. And then I still have not had a beer there that I didn't like.
No, everything there was amazing.
Besides the Hawaiian Punch.
I spent $5 on a cup of Hawaiian Punch. It was good. It was good. I would never do it again. But I'm like, I see this, ectoplasmic colored beer, and I'm like, I need to get one.
Yep.
So, just for the experience.
Yeah, I had the Illusion in the Sheets. That's not the name of it.
That's what I call it.
The Illusion something. It's their Goza. I had the jalapeno version and the mango version.
Yeah, the jalapeno. The mango one, I really like that one.
The mango was very good.
One, it's not my thing.
The jalapeno one kind of tasted like blended salsa. So you had a bunch of stuff at Adroit, though, right?
I did. I had... I'm trying to remember. The difficulty of remembering what you had at the brewery is they only have, like, technically 6 different beers and then variations on those beers.
Which I think is fine.
No, it's totally fine, but it's hard to remember. Not only are the names of the beers confusing.
Oh, sure.
Trying to remember all the different flavors. Like, you can't even remember the name of your jalapeno and mango.
On the street.
Illusions on the street. Illusions in the sheets.
You had Black Church, didn't you? Or Black, what is it called?
Black Celebration.
Black Celebration.
So I had the Black Celebration double stuffed Oreo stout, which
tasted like an Oreo.
Oh my God. It's like a whole pack of Oreos. Somehow stuffed them into one glass of milk.
Yeah.
Let it sit for 1,000 years and then drank it.
Yeah.
Without the milk spoilage. It was good, is what I'm trying to tell you.
And then you had Hawaiian Punch.
I had the, again, I don't remember the name of the beer.
Antithesis.
And yeah, the Antithesis Blue Hawaiian Punch Edition.
Yeah.
And literally the description was, this tastes like Blue Hawaiian Punch is what you're getting. I'm like, I'll take one.
And they didn't lie to you.
No, it tastes like Blue Hawaiian Punch. I spent $5 on a little tiny sipper of Hawaiian Punch. I could have gotten 2 liters of Hawaiian Punch. But it was good. I also had a, what else did I have? It's the one that Matt thought he bought.
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't remember what it's called. That's the I think that's the difficulty of their names is they're hard to remember.
Well, and they change so often.
Right. It's like talking to Deckard Cain. He's the one who names their beers.
Yeah, I want to see their new taster room really bad.
I do want to see their new tasting room
because it looked cool from what we could see in the windows.
They need to make a dungeon underneath them, right?
Maybe that's what they'll turn the old tap room into.
Right. Oh, fresh meat. Right.
But that was arguably our most expensive beer tab of the weekend.
Yeah. No argument.
Yeah.
Yep. Spent too much. We played Suro.
We played Suro at Adroit.
I like that game a lot.
So Suro is a tile placement survival game.
Kind of. You know what's interesting about Suro, though, is I don't think it's any more thematic than Azul.
Agreed.
But I think it comes across a lot stronger.
But that's because you weren't making dragon noises. You have to make dragon flying noises as you place your tile.
Can you give me an example? Is your dragon full of helium and slowly losing it?
Sir? Yes.
I thought it'd be like...
Sure, that works fine. We have different kinds of dragons, Chris.
You're right. That's why I won.
Are the same.
I won, right?
Did you win?
Yes. I didn't lose.
It was between you and EB. I couldn't remember.
And I had that super swoop.
You did have the super swoop.
Yep.
That's right. You won.
It was like a 12 tile.
It was super fun, though.
Yeah, I like the game a lot.
That's a game that I enjoy playing with non-gamers. Because
I feel like it could also be called Le Mans Raceway and still be the same game.
Le Mans Raceway is a different game entirely.
Is it really a game? I was just making that up. Remember we were talking about the bartender at Adroit? We're on the way up. We're like, I wonder who does the artwork. It's so cool.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, it's probably just the bartender. It's like, it's me. I make the beers. I draw the pictures.
I do everything. So we went to Dragon Hops.
Yeah.
It was very disappointing.
It was. Here's the thing.
Let's not beat around the bush.
I want to beat this bush to death. Had we started with them, Adroit is an extremely hard act to follow.
But they did have a really cool space.
Yeah, and they decorated it nice.
Nice big tables to game on.
Yeah, and the food truck was great. I really like the food truck.
Yeah, the food truck was pretty good.
The sweet tea barbecue sauce, never had that before. That was neat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's like my favorite kind of barbecue sauce.
I never had sweet tea until I was 16.
Really?
Let alone sweet tea barbecue sauce.
Wow.
I didn't know what it was. In Canada, it's not the same thing.
So then we played Tiny Epic Defenders at Dragon Hops.
Yep.
And won. First time playing it with 4 players, and I thought it was super fun. God, that game is slowly becoming like one of my like favorite pick up and go games. It's super small, I can fit it basically in my pocket.
Mm-hmm. I'm a little worried about something, Steven.
Why?
I'm a little worried that bringing it to all these breweries, bringing it on the road with us, we're gonna lose Sailor Moon's wand, or the wizard hat, or the wings. We're gonna lose one of those pieces.
Well, you know what's gonna happen, Chris.
What's gonna happen?
We're gonna like this game so much, and we're on the verge. Where I'm gonna buy the Dark War.
What's the Dark War?
It's the expansion to Tiny Epic Defenders.
That's right. Oh, I did remember seeing that.
It comes with more plastic pieces.
That's awesome.
Chris just orgasmed.
I did. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like Gumby turning inside out. You know what's funny is there's a point in our, because we did record all this stuff ahead of time in the moment, but unfortunately the audio was so bad that we just didn't want to subject you to it.
Yep.
However, there's a point where the audio gets pretty clear, and we turn the I learned how to use the recorder, and I turned the gain down, and we learned how to use the gain, and we recorded it, and everything was great, and it sounded pretty clear, and that's when it started raining really heavily. Yeah. So it's like clear voices
and so we stopped at Taco Bell and got more Baja Blast.
Because they had this giant thing that said what does it say? It's like everything's better with Baja Blast.
It is. Everything is better.
I really want to get Orion that shirt that says "Life's short, now it's shorter, Baja Blast."
Did you see that thing I sent you? It was a Baja Blast shark.
Oh yeah. That's so good.
It's the best.
It's so good. All right.
And that's it. And we haven't, and that's it. Now we're getting ready to go on separate adventures together.
Yes. So,
separate adventures together? Apart?
So, Steven, tell us about Gen Con, what you're doing.
Yeah, so Gen Con, I'll be at Gen Con when this comes out, actually. And gonna spend some time gaming and drinking and enjoying all the nerddom that is Gen Con. I actually have like a whole day where I don't have any events scheduled, and so I'm just gonna browse around the floor and
Prowse?
Yeah. And then I actually found out yesterday. So Lucas Oil Field Stadium is right next to the convention center.
Okay.
It's connected by a sky bridge.
Oh.
And what they do is they have events inside of like the boxes inside the stadium.
Okay.
But then they also put tables on the field. So you can
What?
It's open gaming on the football field.
Dude, no way. Are they playing football while that's going on?
No.
Oh.
But apparently that's where they put the museum of like all the ancient games that they have.
Ancient games.
Yeah, like the original Monopoly's there.
Oh, not like Mancala. Right? We're not going ancient.
No, not like Egypt.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's where like all their like large open gaming takes place.
That's super cool.
So I'm gonna try and get some cool shots there, and I'm super excited. I think my most exciting thing, there's two exciting things. One is the True Dungeon Adventure, which I talked about last episode.
I'm so excited about that.
And the second thing is Fireball Island.
They're gonna have that there?
They are gonna have it there.
Oh my god.
So and Angela and I are both playing it there. And hopefully it's as good as everyone says it is. Yeah. So we're gonna play that there, and it's a recreation of the 80s game, but they've put some modern day mechanics into it. It's less just like luck of the ball and more actual like strategy.
It's like what they do at Jungle Golf. Nope. Okay. Let's move on. Hotel gaming. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of hotels connected via the Skybridge system,
which I don't understand, but I'm going to go with.
Yeah. It's kind of like the bridge that connects the parking deck
it's like
to
Rainbow
Waterside.
Road in Mario Kart?
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing.
Let's run with that.
And so different developers will actually rent out ballrooms in these hotels connected to the convention.
Oh, cool.
And then they'll do their own thing.
Super
like
cool.
AEG's doing this big board game night where if you come in and play there, they give you a board game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wowza.
So we're going to do that, and there's a bunch of board game celebrities we're going to try and meet up with. And
what are board game celebrities?
You know, like Tom Vassell of the Dice Tower, Josh and Brandon from Brawling Brothers,
the Top Hat from Monopoly,
Marty and Tony from Rolling Dice and Taking Names, Jamie from the Secret Cabal podcast, Mandy and Suzanne, Eric Summerer. It's all these celebrities, man.
That's awesome.
And then there's going to be developers there galore. Eric Lang's going to be there. Ignacy's going to be there. There are rumors that Betrayal Legacy will be there. Because I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy who made like the original Legacy, the original Risk Legacy is going to be there.
Wow. Is he the one running the Risk Legacy? Or the
Betrayal
Legacy?
Yeah, he designed it.
Super cool.
Yeah. And of course, like all the big like publishers will be there. FFG will be there. Druid City will be there. Stonemaier, Arcane Wonders, all the
big ones.
Yeah. I think, not to get too deep, but my most looking forward to game of Gen Con 2018 is Forbidden Sky.
Right, I remember you telling me about that. It's like lines or something in the sky that you have to connect, or power lines.
It's power lines.
Power
apparently.
lines.
So not a whole lot's known about it yet. But I am definitely going to try and pick up a copy. Hopefully I get to play it, even if I don't pick up a copy.
How cool would that be, right?
Yeah.
Do you think they'll have the new scythe at Gen Con? Or is that too far ahead?
No, they probably will. It's being released at Gen Con. People already have it.
What?
Yeah.
What? You should get it. I'll give you cash money. Or you have to ship it. You're flying.
I got it for your birthday.
What? No, you didn't.
I did.
No, I don't believe it.
I did.
I don't believe it.
I ordered that, and I got the metal coins.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No.
Did.
I'm so erect.
They're not going to ship until the middle of August, though.
That's fine.
But your birthday's not till
September.
and we celebrate in August anyway, so it's
Usually.
like, it's perfect.
Yeah. Oh, dude, we're gonna play some fucking Scythe.
You're going on a cruise.
Yes, so it's my honeymoon coming up, so I'm gonna have the exact opposite experience of you. It's gonna be a complete no Chris's regular lifestyle thing. No music, no playing guitar, no board games, a lot of beer.
Well, not entirely not Chris.
It's gonna be.
You're gonna bring cards with you.
Oh, I always do. I always bring cards with me. I'm actually going to brush up on my magic skills before showing up there.
I'm super excited for you. I know this is your honeymoon, and I'm not going to bother you.
Right. We should do a Freaky Friday and switch on Friday only. Like, I really want to see Gen Con. I'm so jealous.
You should come next year.
I want to come next year.
You should totally come. It's in the summer. There's no reason why.
There's no reason why not.
Yeah.
No reason at all.
And as long as you're okay with sharing a dude.
Sharing a dude. I'm all right. Let's go.
Sharing a hotel
Flights tonight.
With a bunch of people.
Yeah, why not?
Then you can. I mean, we're going on this. We're like for us to get there. The whole trip's costing us like $600.
That's nothing.
That's nothing.
Nothing.
Right. The majority of our expenses are board games.
Yep, I get that.
So until next time,
good games,
good beers,
great times.